Hi, Haravim friends! Alright, so we just finished chapters 5 and 6 of James and the Giant Peach. And I wanted to mention something really quickly before I kept going on. We talk about this a lot in class. There's two things I want to mention. One, is this story a real story or a pretend story? It's pretend, right? Because we know this really couldn't happen. And the other thing is, and especially my Haravim friends will know this, what is the rule with Maura Nicole's books? They always have a happy ending. That's right, my friends. All right, and the other thing I wanted to mention is that because the chapters in James and the Giant Peach are so short, I might be reading 2 in a video, but sometimes I might only read 1 if it's a longer chapter, because I don't want you guys to have to watch a huge video. All right, so as long as the chapters are short, it'll be 1 video with 2 chapters, but if they're longer chapters, it'll be 1 video with 1 chapter. All right, my friends? Now I'm going to get started on chapter 7. Oh, look at that peach. It's so big. I want to eat it. Chapter 7. The 2 women and the small boy stood absolutely still in the grass underneath the tree, gazing up at this extraordinary fruit. James's little face was glowing with excitement. His eyes were as big and as bright as 2 stars. He could see the peach swelling larger and larger as clearly as if it were a balloon being blown up. In half a minute, it was the size of a melon, and in another half a minute, it was twice as big again. Just look at it growing, Aunt Spiker cried. Will it ever stop? Aunt Sponge shouted, waving her wide arms and starting to dance around in circles. And now it was so big that it looked like an enormous butter-colored pumpkin dangling from the top of the tree. Get away from the tree trunk, you silly boy! Aunt Spiker yelled. The slightest shake, and I'm sure it'll fall off. You must weigh 20 or 30 pounds at least. The branch the peach was growing upon was beginning to bend over further and further because of the weight. Stand back! Aunt Sponge shouted. It's coming down! The branch is going to break! But the branch didn't break. It simply bent over more and more as the peach got heavier and heavier. And still it went on growing. In another minute, this mammoth fruit was as large and as round and as fat as Aunt Sponge herself, and probably just as heavy. It has to stop now, Aunt Spiker yelled. It can't go on forever. But it didn't stop. Soon it was the size of a small car and reached halfway to the ground. Both aunts were now hopping round and round the tree, clapping their hands and shouting all sorts of silly things in their excitement. Hallelujah! Aunt Spiker shouted. What a peach! What a peach! Terrifico! Aunt Sponge cried out. Magnifico! Splendifico! And what a meal! It's still growing! I know! As for James, he was so spellbound by the whole thing that he could only stand and stare and murmur quietly to himself, Oh, isn't it beautiful? It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Shut up, you little twerp, Aunt Spiker snapped, happening to overhear him. It's none of your business. That's right, Aunt Sponge declared. It's got nothing to do with you whatsoever. Keep out of it. I don't like these ants very much, do you? Look, Aunt Spiker shouted. It's growing faster than ever now. It's speeding up. I see it, Spiker. I do. Bigger and bigger grew the peach. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Then at last, when it had become nearly as tall as the tree that it was growing on, and as tall and as wide, in fact, as large as a small house, the bottom part of it gently touched the ground, and there it rested. It can't fall off now, Aunt Sponge shouted. It stopped growing, Aunt Spiker cried. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. It's slowing down, Spiker. It's slowing down, but it hasn't stopped yet. You watch it. There was a pause. It has now. I believe you're right. Do you think it's safe to touch it? I don't know. We'd better be careful. Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker began walking slowly around the peach, inspecting it very cautiously from all sides. They were like a couple of hunters who had just found an elephant and were not quite sure what was going on. And the massive round fruit towered over them so high that they looked like shrimps from another world beside of it. The skin of the peach was very beautiful, a rich buttery yellow with patches of brilliant pink and red. Aunt Sponge advanced cautiously and touched it with the tip of one finger. It's ripe, she cried. It's just perfect. Now look here, Spiker. Why don't we go and get a shovel right away and dig out a great big chunk of it for you and me to eat? No! Aunt Spiker said, not yet. Why ever not? Because I say so. But I can't wait to eat some, Aunt Sponge cried out. She was watering at the mouth now when a thin trickle of spit was running down one side of her chin. My dear Sponge, Aunt Spiker said slowly, winking at her sister and smiling a sly, thin-lipped smile. There's a pile of money to be made out of this, if only we can handle it right. You just wait and see. Chapter 8. The news that a peach, almost as big as a house, had suddenly appeared in someone's garden spread like wildfire across the countryside, and the next day a stream of people came scrambling up the steep hill to gaze upon this marvel. Quickly, Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker called in carpenters and had them build a strong fence around the peach to save it from the crowd, and at the same time, these two crafty women stationed themselves at the front gate with a large bunch of tickets and started charging everyone to come in. Roll up! Roll up! Aunt Spiker yelled. Only 1 shilling to see the giant peach! Half price for children under 6 weeks old! Aunt Sponge shouted. One at a time, please! Don't push! Don't push! You're all going to get in! Hey, you! Come back there! You haven't paid! By lunchtime, the whole place was a seething mass of men and women and children, all pushing and shoving to get a glimpse of this miraculous fruit. Helicopters were landing like wasps all over the hill, and out of them poured swarms of newspaper reporters, cameramen, and men from the television companies. It'll cost you double to bring in a camera, Aunt Spiker shouted. All right, they answered. We don't care. And the money came rolling into the pockets of the 2 greedy ants. But while all this excitement was going on outside, poor James was forced to stay locked in his bedroom, peeping through the bars of his window at the crowds below. That disgusting little brute will only get in everyone's way if we let him wander about, Aunt Spiker had said early that morning. Oh, please, he had begged. I haven't met any other children for years and years, and there are going to be lots of them down there for me to play with. And perhaps I could help you with the tickets? Shut up, Aunt Sponge had snapped. Your Aunt Spiker and I are about to do something big. So look, there's them guarding the peach, and there's the people trying to get in, and the helicopters. And I want you to think. Would you really want to sell this, or would you want to share it? I think for me, I'd really want to share it with everybody. I don't think I'd want to sell it. I'd want to let everybody be able to see it. But that's just me. Your Aunt Spiker and I are about to become millionaires, and the last thing we want is the likes of you messing things up and getting in the way. Later, when the evening of the first day came and all the people had gone home, the ants unlocked James's door and ordered him to go outside and pick up all the banana skins and orange peel and bits of paper that the crowd had left behind. Could I please have something to eat first? He asked. I haven't had a thing all day. No! They shouted, kicking him out of the door. We're too busy to make food. We are counting our money. But it's dark, cried James. Get out, they yelled, and stay out till you've cleaned up all the mess. The door slammed, and the key turned in the lock. All right, my friends, that is the end of chapter 8. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're enjoying James and the Giant Peach so far. I hope to see you soon. Bye!